In 2026, there will be monkeying around. Today we watch Primate. So Aiden, what's the plot?
Primate is a monkey movie. But this time it's about a monkey who gets rabies and becomes Michael Myers instead of a rabid animal of any sort. And he, acts like Michael Myers and hunts down some debaucherous teenagers for 90 or so minutes. Not quite 90. They tried. They got kind of close.
They had to try.
Connor, what'd you think of Primate?
I thought Primate was an awful movie. It was bad. Here's the problem. It feels like the first movie ever written entirely by AI, and if I've said that before, I actually mean it this time. There's so many plot points that are brought up, like they're going to come back, and they never do.
Yeah.
For example, one of the biggest problems with the movie is, okay, so the first 30 minutes of this 90-minute movie is the teenagers being teenagers and drinking and prank calling and what have you. And she really wants to date this man. And then they jump in the pool when the monkey goes crazy. The monkey gets rabies, the monkey goes crazy, starts killing people. The first kill we get is a cold open for some reason. Yeah. So then they don't show it later, but they re-show the lead up. At 90 minutes, they were reusing footage. But they jump in the pool, and then they're trapped. The monkey's got them trapped, and there's nowhere they can go. And then the script writers did not decide to write something different, and that was just the fact of the movie from there. So then the monkey gets behind them. It's like one of those infinity pools or whatever. I don't think exactly, because there's like a ridge on the outside, but they're like, we're going to push the monkey over the cliff, and then the boy is thrown over the cliff, so the whole love plot they established in the first 30 minutes was pointless.
Yep.
And then there was the bitch girl who looked like Julia Fox, but was 20 years younger, and she's like, okay, we gotta kill this monkey, we gotta shoot it in the face. And everyone's like, you're a fucking bitch. And the whole movie is trying to establish that this lady's a bitch, when I didn't see what she fucking did wrong. Is it the main character wants to have sex with the boy, but then he's like, I don't want to have sex with her, but I want to have sex with you, bitch lady.
Yeah.
But she's not really that much of a bitch. The movie starts on her being called a bitch a bunch, and we're supposed to believe that she's the bitchy character. But she really doesn't do anything wrong, and she's the first one to say this primate is just, Ben is just going crazy, we need to blast his ass to pieces, and they're like, shut up, you fucking whore, you fucking bitch. And the movie treats it like we should hate this character, but she's the only one that's smart. And then the problem is, once they're in the pool, so Ben can't go in the pool. This is established. And you think, okay, so the monkey's gonna die in the pool, but first there's gonna be tomfoolery for the next 45 minutes of the movie. But the next 45 minutes they dick around in the pool, and they're like, what if we had a cell phone? So then they go and they try to get a cell phone, and someone dies.
And
then they're like, we have to leave the pool again, and then somebody dies. And everything is just it's just they go in and out of this pool. They have no idea what the writers, not the characters really, just kind of have no idea what they're doing. And then the characters, as a result, are really fucking stupid.
Yep.
For example, she has a best friend too, and they're best friends for life, sisters, and they connect their broken heart locket thing. And you're like, okay, so that might come into play. There's so many things, in horror movies, you establish things that come into play later.
In
and
all movies, really.
Yeah, they establish a lot of things. Like the monkey, for example. When the monkey dies, he doesn't fall in the pool.
No.
Which would make sense, because that's his kryptonite. It's established as his kryptonite. Half the movie takes place in a fucking swimming pool with the characters doing nothing, because it's his kryptonite. But that's not what happens. The one establishment I saw is there was a shard of glass that was pointy and faced up when one character runs by. Then 5 minutes later, a different character steps on it, the lead.
Yep.
There is a brief segment in the middle where they're like, God, we don't have enough characters to kill. So then these two guys just show up, and they have like the most prolonged like stalking scene, and it doesn't really make sense because the characters, anytime the monkey like closes its eyes or doesn't seem to be paying much attention for a second, they like running, trying to get past it or do something. When the monkey goes away for 45 minutes to kill these two characters, why don't you bum rush for the car? That's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Like the sister, put her in the shallow end to sit there and
or
come
all
back with
five
help.
of you start punching the monkey.
Yeah, or you guys. I thought
face.
about that too. Like, you know,
There's
obviously
one point where
the Zave's got good grip strength,
the
but I
best
feel like if
friend
you guys
grabs,
all
like,
came to overwhelm it.
the best friend like grabs a crowbar and hits the monkey in the head to get her off the main character. And then instead of beating the monkey to death, she's like, okay, now we gotta leave again, get back to the pool.
Jump back in the swimming pool. Yeah, there's a lot of those moments where you're like, okay.
And there's also...
Like when the best friend dies, they both go up there to get the cell phone for no reason. The pool is the absolute safety. Ben doesn't even though Ben has rabies, a degenerating brain disorder, he's actually smarter than ever before, and he becomes a cunning serial killer.
Yeah.
So the problem is they keep stepping on like the TV remote and shit turns on the TV, or they step on glass and it goes, or like a bag of chips and it alerts the monkey to their position, as if it was like what's that movie with Jim from The Office and Emily Blunt?
The Quiet Place.
The Quiet Place. It's kind of like The Quiet Place. Like the monkey will be looking right at him, and obviously it has functional eyes. But if you don't make noise, the monkey's mostly fine.
Yeah.
So it's established. The established rules are like this is the quiet place. So then her and her friend both go up for no reason, but it was time for somebody to die. So the friend goes up with her to die, basically, and that's what happens. But yeah, the two boys come. They get killed because they have to pad their runtime. It's all just a lot of padding. Like it feels like at no point did anybody know what to write.
I like how one of the first things that happens in the movie once the monkey starts attacking is that they try to call the veterinarian who gets killed in the cage, and they hear his phone ringing and they never once go for his phone. They're like, no, we couldn't.
Yeah,
do
the
that.
phone
That'd be
that's
too far.
outside. Like at one point they're like, we have to search the house for a phone. But they know there's a functional cell phone in the cage that, according to the geography established within the film, is about 15 feet away from them. And also, the phone, they're calling the phone and they can hear it. So, like, the phone has to be incredibly close. I can't hear my cell phone in the other room if it's ringing. But they could hear this phone outside while everyone's freaking out, panicked.
In the pool.
While they're in the pool down, and the monkey's screeching at them, and they can hear the phone over this. The phone is close. They never go for it because it would kind of establish the problem that you'd have to make somebody up and like pretend that the guy was dead, and then also like this movie was written by AI, so it couldn't remember its fucking plot points, you know, because it's just our computer.
Yeah.
It was trying its best to formulate a Blumhouse movie, but the AI didn't work. And I know there's like two credited writers, which like 2 people went together and read this AI script and said this is good enough for us to attach our names to, both of them. I honestly, SAG, you gotta put out an investigation. There's no way a human being wrote this fucking piece of shit. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's just an absolutely messy and horrendous movie. The occasional kills are fine, like they're bloody. They're kind of just Terrifier-core, but you know, Terrifier had the problem where the kills were like 14 minutes long, and this had the problem where it was like a quarter of a second, usually darkly lit, so you couldn't tell like they're doing something really cool, but they're doing something really cool with like CGI or cheap effects or whatever the fuck they were doing.
Yeah, there's 9 minutes of build-up for every kill.
9 minutes of build-up. The conclusion to the movie sees our lead character's father return home because he feels bad that he's a deadbeat dad. He's the richest author in the world. He owns like a $65 million mansion on a fucking hill in the middle of nowhere, Hawaii. Like, he's just the most loaded author to ever be born. Apparently, his books are like selling like fucking J.K. Rowling or like Stephen King. Tom Clancy probably had a pretty sick mansion. But like, aside from those people, I don't know how author man could afford this, but so he returns home and then he literally just does what none of the characters thought to do before, which is, and he does it 1v1 as in like an elderly man. This guy's like 60.
He just beats the shit out of
he
the
literally
monkey.
beats the shit out of the monkey. He starts getting overwhelmed, but then his preteen daughter and his like 18-year-old daughter join in, and they're able to kill the monkey eventually. And it got me thinking why force-strapping teenagers couldn't start kicking the shit out of this monkey. Like, you know, attrition. If the monkey gets its fangs into somebody's leg, you start beating the shit out of it. Maybe someone could run up and get a weapon. But if they listened to knock off Julia Fox, but 20 years younger, from the start, they could have just won.
Yep.
Because her recommendation was let's kill the fucking thing, but they wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt forever. I don't know. It's just like, and also like this movie has a moment where they're like, rabies doesn't exist in Hawaii, which definitely feels like AI. Like AI saw the fact on Wikipedia when it was trying to formulate the movie, and it ended up in there, you know? So the guy's like, there's no rabies in Hawaii. Never mentioned again. There is fucking rabies in Hawaii, and this fucking gorilla has it and is also a genius serial killer. The fucking score on this movie, they got like a fucking wannabe John Carpenter just ripping the synths.
The whole thing was wannabe John Carpenter.
Well, yeah. Well, the movie's also a wannabe John Carpenter, so they're like, we have this thing.
They just ripped the closet scene from Halloween.
I think the prompt was 90-minute movie, 90-page movie about gorilla becomes evil, Gen Z kids at house, and then the two writers went downstairs to circle jerk each other or take a shit or something, and when they came upstairs, ChatGPT had the fucking script, and then I guess they probably had to format it into screenplay style, and they sent it forward to like Blumhouse or whoever who decided to pay for this movie. And, yeah, I don't know. It was, and the funny thing, too, is I was looking at Letterboxd and people like this movie. Everyone likes this movie. Which begs the question if people are just fucking stupid or what. And I'm starting to think the answer might be yes. But anyways, Aiden, what did you think of Primate?
Primate, really stupid. There's a sort of tolerance you have to have for horror movie characters,
yeah,
and how stupid they are. But this is egregious. It becomes genuinely frustrating to watch how stupid they are.
Well, the thing is, like with most horror movies, the balance is you want to make these characters do stupid things enough that it makes sense that it leads to their death. But you don't want them to do stuff that's so fucking stupid that it takes you out, because you're like, no human being would be that fucking stupid.
Yep.
And this movie fails that.
The whole thing is weird. I mean, rabies doesn't make you evil. Like, a rabid animal just freaks out and thrashes around because it's dying and sick.
Yeah.
But Ben becomes a super genius troll.
And a serial killer, too.
They recreate the closet scene from Halloween, and he like bashes in the thing and, you know, scares them, but then he goes away. And the second the girl steps out, like, he knew they were in there. And then he's standing over her with the type and talk, pressing buttons to fuck with her, and like, when they're trapped in the pool, he starts mashing the dead key on his type and talk. Why?
Just to scare him.
What use would he ever have for a dead key? I don't really know.
Oh, also the daughter, or the preteen sister is like, I got bit, do you think I have rabies? And they're like, we can't worry about that now. But no one ever worries about it again because it's never mentioned.
Nope. Hey, at the end the doctor
said she'll be alright.
The EMT's like, yeah, you'll be fine.
I thought that was because the monkey bit her fucking jugular leg,
and
her jugular, or her fucking leg, her thigh artery.
And the police start fucking with the type and talk just to spook him.
Yeah. Yeah, the police officers who entered the scene of like a quadruple, or like fucking 8-person homicide, monkey homicide.
The monkey's just fucking with him. Like, the monkey at the end of the movie, like, puts out his hand and he's like, you you want to pat my hand like we used to do, and then breaks her wrist. Like,
But she's fine later to beat his ass.
he's not acting at all like a rabid animal. He's a genius serial killer in this Halloween knockoff, but Michael Myers is a monkey. It's really something.
Well, you also gotta forget that, you gotta remember that injuries don't matter. Every character gets horrible injuries. Our lead steps on sharp glass and limps twice and then is fine, even though 2 inches of glass went up her foot. That was 2.5 inches long.
Her sister has her artery ripped out of her leg and
is walking it up.
Walks it off.
She can't walk at all, so that's part of the reason they're in the pool, is because the sister's stuck in the pool, but then eventually she decided she actually just recovered.
The chlorinated water healed her.
She also got
got
her back mangled. At one point, a full-size primate starts to smash down, double fist smash down on the chest of our 110-pound lead. And naturally, probably her ribs were breaking like fucking, her legs were probably cracking, her ribs, but she was fine. She walked it off. Everybody walks everything off until you die, and then you die.
The composer was told to make Halloween music, so he did. It's pretty decent. And they put some guy in a monkey suit and said you're gonna stand around for 9 minutes and then punch some people, and that's it. That's the movie.
Good monkey.
Good monkey.
Good monkey effects.
Yeah, it's a pretty good monkey. Beyond like the fact that the movie's like a boring MTV movie outside of the 4 seconds of him ripping people's jaws off, which he does repeatedly for some reason.
Yeah,
just like Max Payne here.
Yeah, we wrote an unofficial sequel to Max Payne called Max Payne. And Max Payne, his son, Max Payne's son, Max Payne, has a collection of human jaws, which he rips off. So seeing the homage when the primate rips a jaw out and starts attacking a guy with it and fucking around with it, that was a
real throwback. Hi, cats. Anyway, Connor, would you recommend Primate?
No, I have to pass. It's pretty stupid. And like, part of me was like, I felt like for a second, like after that first kill, like the cold open kill that for some reason is just pulled out of the middle of the movie to like open the movies so that people,
it's not too boring.
So it's not too boring
20 minutes of the OC.
Yeah. That kill, I was like, okay, this might be like Kino. And then you meet the cast and you're like, there's some cringe Kino potential. And also the blood shows that this isn't like a PG-13 Blumhouse movie like M3 Gan, and we're going to not only see people aren't only going to die, we're actually going to see it. So I was like, okay, I can get behind this a little bit. And then it was just fucking pretty much garbage. So Aiden, would you recommend Primate?
No. I was kind of hoping that this would be trash Kino, but it's kind of just... Jackie, come on. Come on, baby.
She's pretending like she wasn't pretending not to attack.
Oh, you.
It will be attacked, and she was going to get her vengeance by attacking Akuma.
It's okay. You have iBookie. But no. It's trash. It's not trash Kino. It's just kind of stupid.
Yeah, it is just kind of stupid. Alright, well, we'll see you next time with our next movie, which I can't remember. The Bone Temple. Next week.
We're returning
28
to the
years.
temple.
We're going back to 28 years later.